He switched her birth control in secret. He thought a positive test would trap her. No way out, no choice. What he didn't expect was that while he was browsing cribs online, Ashley was already inside a private clinic, fixing his mistake before dinner. And the revenge, it would be surgical. The red dress cut through the crowd. Sharp, precise. Damon saw her instantly. Out of hundreds of executives, investors, tech prodigies gathered at Galatech's annual summit in New York, he saw only one woman, Ashley Morgan, blonde hair twisted into a tight bun, chin lifted, shoulders back, a posture that didn't ask permission to exist. Her eyes said one thing: "Do not underestimate me." The crystal chandeliers of the Waldorf Astoria poured gold over champagne glasses and rehearsed smiles, but Damon saw none of it, only her. She had just declined a photo with a senator, checked her phone instead. Unimpressed, he crossed the ballroom. Slow, calculated. His voice reached her before he did. Low, controlled. "I read about your security algorithm." A pause. "Impressive." She looked up. No rush. "Damon Blackwell." No admiration in her tone. "I read about your last hostile takeover." A breath. Less impressive. He smiled. Predatory. "I like women who bite." She slipped her phone into her clutch. "I don't bite." A beat. "I remove pieces." He extended his hand. She took it. 3 seconds too long. His grip was warm, firm, possessive, as if memorizing her skin. A spark ran up her arm, down her spine. She pulled away first. "Good night, Blackwell." She walked toward the bar, didn't look back, but she felt it, his stare burning between her shoulder blades. 6 months later, his penthouse dominated the Manhattan skyline, glass, steel, silence. She didn't live there. She had her own apartment, her own company, her own empire rising fast, but her body betrayed her. It remembered him. Damon was exactly what he advertised: intense, possessive, insatiable, his hands on her hips, fingers pressing hard, leaving invisible marks, his breath against her ear. "Are you mine, Ashley?" She never answered, not with words. Outside the bedroom, it was war. "I want an heir." He said it casually, like asking for more wine. They were on the terrace, city lights below. Her fork stopped mid-air. No. Flat. Calm. "That's not a discussion." "It is," she resumed eating. "My company is scaling. I won't pause my life to carry someone else's legacy." His jaw tightened. A vein pulsed in his neck. "You'll change your mind." "I won't." Silence. Heavy. Thick. Ashley kept eating, but inside, she knew. Damon Blackwell did not accept, no. 3 weeks later, 2:07 a.m. The bathroom was quiet, air conditioning humming softly. Ashley slept in the bedroom, exhausted, satisfied, unaware. Damon stood by the cabinet. He opened the drawer. The pink pouch sat exactly where it always did. He unzipped it. Inside, the pill pack. Small, harmless. He removed it. From his robe pocket he took another pack. Identical. Same color, same branding. The pharmacist he paid valued discretion. Under the cold bathroom light, the white tablets gleamed. Placebos. All of them. He switched the packs with surgical precision. Closed the pouch. Closed the drawer. No sound. He looked at himself in the mirror. No guilt. Only certainty. One day, she would understand. Back in bed, he opened his phone. A cycle tracking app glowed on the screen. He knew her fertile window better than she did. 2 red days had just begun. He watched her sleeping form, white silk sheets framing her curves, breathing slow, trusting, unaware. He leaned in, lips brushing her bare shoulder, hand sliding down her waist. Her body responded, always did. "You were meant to carry my legacy." His whisper was rough. "You just don't know it yet." The next morning, she swallowed the white pill with water. Routine, unquestioned. Damon stood by the door, suit flawless, coffee in hand, watching. "Morning," she said, distracted. I have a meeting in an hour. I know. He kissed her forehead. See you tonight. When the elevator doors closed, he walked to the window. Manhattan stretched beneath him like a chessboard. He had just moved the decisive piece. The nausea came without warning. Ashley was mid-video call with investors in Singapore when her stomach twisted. She muted herself, camera off, ran to the restroom, made it to the sink. Barely. Hands gripping marble, breathing hard. Her reflection looked pale, foreign. Stress, she told herself. Fundraising, sleep deprivation, pressure. But it happened again, and again. By the fifth morning, on her knees in front of the toilet, she stopped lying to herself. She believed in data, patterns, logic, and the pattern pointed to one conclusion. Impossible. She never missed a pill. Alarm at 7 a.m. every day. Water. Swallow. Done. Unless... The error wasn't hers. She pushed the thought away. Paranoia. It had to be. At lunch, she told her assistant she had an external meeting. A lie. She drove across town. A pharmacy far from her office. Paid cash. No receipt. No trail. In a random cafe bathroom. She took the test, sat on the lid, waited. 3 minutes. Felt like 3 hours. 2 pink lines. Her lungs forgot how to work. No. She checked again. And again. Positive. The world drained of color. Voices outside became static. She held the plastic stick like it was a verdict. A sentence. How? She was disciplined. Precise. There was no margin for error. Unless... The error had a name. That night. The penthouse was quiet. Damon stood by the window, whiskey in hand, king surveying his kingdom. You're late, he said. Didn't turn around. Traffic! Lie. Her voice steady. He finally looked at her. Something flickered in his eyes. Expectation. Satisfaction. Come here. She did. Let him pull her close, his lips on her neck. Whiskey and cedar. Once it melted her. Now it felt heavy. I'm taking a shower. He kissed her shoulder. Wait for me in bed. He walked down the hallway. Water started running. Steady, consistent. Ashley stood still, heart racing. Something was wrong, a missing piece. Her instincts screamed it. Then she saw it. His phone, on the kitchen counter, vibrating. She glanced toward the hallway. The shower still running. Safe. She picked it up. Screen lit up. A message preview. Sender. Meridian Laboratory. Private contact. Her thumb moved before her fear could stop it. Mr. Blackwell, we confirm delivery of the special batch as requested. 3 more identical placebo packs have been delivered to the alternate address. Discretion guaranteed. The floor disappeared beneath her. Ashley read it again. Slow, careful. Every word. Placebo, special batch, packs. The pieces aligned with brutal precision. The nausea, the positive test, the pill she took every single morning. He switched them. Damon Blackwell switched her pills. Not an accident, not a failure, engineering, planning, cold calculation. He got her pregnant on purpose. Ice crawled up her spine, spread through her chest, froze everything inside. Her hands trembled. The phone almost slipped. Bastard. The word exploded in her head, but no sound came out. No tears, only cold. Absolute. Deadly cold. She placed the phone back exactly where it had been. Same angle, same position. The shower stopped. Ashley inhaled. Slow. Forced her face to relax. When Damon stepped into the hallway, towel low on his hips, water tracing down his defined chest. She was already seated on the couch, legs crossed, expression neutral. Ready for me? He smiled. That predator smile. It used to burn her. Now it was poison. He sat beside her. His large hand slid over her thigh. Warm. Claiming. She felt disgust. The touch that once felt like fire, now felt like chains. But she didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't reveal anything. Of course. Her voice was soft, controlled. Just tired. Heavy meetings. Poor thing. He pulled her closer. His lips brushed her ear. Let me take care of you. She closed her eyes. Inside, every cell screamed to shove him away, to throw the truth in his face, to destroy him on the spot. But Ashley Morgan was not impulsive. She was strategic. And Damon Blackwell had just awakened the wrong enemy. That night, she let him touch her. She faked pleasure, faked surrender, faked being the same woman, while her mind worked, cold, precise, merciless. Damon slept with the smile of a man who believed he had won. Ashley stayed awake in the dark, eyes open, planning every step, mourning. She woke to his weight over her. He had lifted her shirt in her sleep. His lips pressed slowly against the skin below her navel. Reverent, like worship. Good morning. His voice vibrated against her stomach. Good morning to both of you. Nausea hit instantly. Sharp, violent. She swallowed it down, kept her face calm. You're in a strange mood, she murmured, pretending to be half asleep. I'm happy. He looked up. His eyes were shining. I have reasons. Of course he did. He tracked her cycle like a scientist, studying an experiment. The delayed period had not escaped him. He had probably calculated the due date already. He moved up her body, kissed her neck, her jaw, her lips. I have meetings today, he said against her mouth. But I can cancel everything, if you want to tell me something. The bait was obvious. She kept her sleepy expression. Tell you what? Nothing. He smiled again, satisfied. We'll talk at dinner. He stood, dressed in a charcoal gray suit, efficient, precise. Adjusted his tie in the mirror, sprayed cologne. Ashley watched him, the arrogance in his posture, the certainty that the world bent to his will. You have no idea, she thought, not the slightest idea. Before leaving, he returned to the bed, bent over her, kissed her stomach again, harder this time, possessive. See you tonight, my love, he whispered, for both of you. The bedroom door closed, footsteps down the hall, the elevator sound. Silence. Ashley didn't move for 60 seconds, counted each one. Needed to be sure he wouldn't return. For a wallet, a file, an excuse to look into her eyes. Another 60 seconds. The elevator did not open again. She stood up. Her body moved on autopilot. Every step already rehearsed in her mind over the last 48 hours. She walked to the closet, behind winter coats she never wore in New York. A small suitcase waited, packed, ready. Documents, cash, cards from a bank. Damon didn't know existed. Clothes for a week. That was enough. She changed in 3 minutes. Jeans, black t-shirt, sneakers, hair in a low ponytail, no makeup, no jewelry, invisible. She grabbed the suitcase, paused at the door. Morning light flooded the penthouse, illuminated the couch where they first slept together, the kitchen island where he made her coffee, the terrace where he demanded an heir. She felt nothing. She opened the door, left, didn't look back. A taxi waited at the corner, booked from a prepaid phone she bought the day before. No trace, no history. The Upper East Side, she said quietly. The private clinic had no flashy sign, just a white door, a gold number. She paid cash, stepped out, breathed in once, entered. White walls, cold air, low hum of air conditioning. Ms. Morgan? Yes. The doctor is waiting. No judgment, no questions, only efficiency. A long hallway, soft floors. A door opened, a grey-haired doctor with calm eyes. Sit down, Ashley. We'll talk about the procedure. Ashley sat, her hands steady, voice firm. No need to explain, I understand, I want it done. A nod. Respect. It will take about an hour. Is anyone waiting for you? No. All right. We'll take care of you. 1 hour and 20 minutes later, Ashley stepped back onto the street. The New York sun hit her face, warm, indifferent. The world kept moving, horns, footsteps, voices. No one looked at her. Her suitcase waited in another rideshare, another disposable phone. JFK Airport. Her voice didn't shake. International Terminal. Manhattan slid past the window. Skyscrapers, bridges, the Hudson flashing under midday light. The city that once meant ambition now looked like a battlefield she was leaving behind. Her personal phone vibrated again. Damon, 10 missed calls, messages stacking up. I booked your favorite restaurant, 8 p.m. I have a surprise. Call me. She powered the phone off, screen black, dropped it into her bag. Highways replaced buildings. Airport signs appeared. The car stopped. Have a good trip. She didn't answer. Inside the terminal, short line at the airline counter. Destination: Los Angeles. First class available on the 3 p.m. flight. One way? Yes. No hesitation. She paid with the hidden account. Boarding pass printed, security cleared. She moved like a ghost. In the lounge, she chose a corner seat, far from windows, far from people, eyes fixed on nothing. Only one thing was clear. Malibu. The oceanfront house she bought 2 years ago as an investment, isolated, private. Damon never knew about it. She never had a reason to tell him. Now she did. Flight 3117 to Los Angeles now boarding. She stood, walked to the gate, handed over the pass, entered the aircraft. When the wheels left New York soil, she finally closed her eyes. No relief, no victory, no grief, only certainty, cold, final. Damon Blackwell would never touch her again. Never. 8:20 p.m. The penthouse was dark when Damon walked in. Smile ready, speech rehearsed, dinner reservation confirmed, champagne waiting. He had planned the moment she would confess. He would say he already knew, that he was the happiest man alive. Ashley? Silence. He turned on the lights. The empty room stared back. No perfume in the air, no sound from the bedroom, no suitcase by the door. Ashley. His voice echoed. Only silence answered. Damon crossed the penthouse in long strides. Bedroom, empty. Bathroom, empty. Closet. He stopped. The space where her winter coats used to hang. Open, bare. A small suitcase he didn't even know existed. Gone. Drawers half empty. Lingerie missing, she left. His phone was in his hand before he realized it. He dialed. 1 ring, 2, 3, voicemail, again. Voicemail, again. Voicemail. Answer the damn phone. The words came out through clenched teeth. Nothing. The first flicker of panic pierced his chest. Sharp, unfamiliar. But Damon Blackwell did not panic. He acted. 3 calls in sequence. First, head of security. I want her phone location in 10 minutes. Second, personal assistant. Check every flight leaving New York today under Ashley Morgan. Third, the bank. Any movement on her cards, notify me immediately. He paced the marble floor, Italian shoes striking hard, tie ripped off, top button undone. She found out. The thought hit cold. He pushed it away. Impossible. He had been careful, meticulous, no trace. Then why did she run? His phone rang. Mr. Blackwell. Security chief, voice cautious. Her phone has been off since 2 p.m. Last location, JFK Airport. JFK. And the flight? Your assistant confirmed. Boarding at 3 p.m. Destination Los Angeles, one way. Los Angeles. He ended the call without a word. His mind accelerated. Why L.A.? No family there, no office. Then he remembered, months ago. A casual comment, an investment property. A house in Malibu bought at auction. He never asked for the address. He never needed to. Now he did. Another call. A private investigator who had worked for his family for years. Find every property under Ashley Morgan's name in the Los Angeles area. You have 1 hour. 40 minutes later, he was on his private jet, white leather interior, silence. He couldn't sit. paced the narrow aisle like a caged animal. Why did she run? He gave her everything: status, protection, an empire. She must have panicked. That was it. Fear of motherhood, fear of losing control, fear of losing herself. The explanation made sense to him. She was ambitious, driven. Maybe the pregnancy overwhelmed her, but she took my air. The sentence echoed violently. She stole what's mine. Rage climbed his chest, hot, blinding. His fists tightened until his knuckles turned white. That child was his legacy, his blood, the continuation of everything. And she vanished. She'll come back, he thought, even if I have to drag her back myself. The jet landed in Los Angeles at 2 a.m. A car waited on the runway. The driver handed him an envelope. Address inside: Malibu, Pacific Coast Highway, an isolated house by the ocean. Damon drove himself, foot heavy on the accelerator, headlights cutting through the dark highway. The ocean roared unseen to his right, full moon lighting white foam in the distance. He saw none of it, only her face. Green eyes that challenged him, a mouth that said no when others said yes. The woman he loved, the woman stealing everything from him. The car stopped at a locked white gate, 2 meters high, nothing impossible. He climbed it. The house was modern, glass, light wood, quiet. Lights on downstairs. Sea breeze carried salt and freedom, an irony he did not notice. He reached the front door, locked. He knocked once, twice, 3 times. No answer. Patience evaporated. His shoulder hit the door with full force. Wood cracked, gave way, burst open. He entered like an intruder, not a lover, not a partner, an owner reclaiming property. "Ashley!" His voice tore through the house. No reply. He crossed the living room, kitchen, hallway. The back door stood open, white curtains moving with the breeze. Outside, the terrace. And on the terrace, her. Ashley sat in a wooden lounge chair. The ocean stretched black and silver before her, waves breaking in steady rhythm, like breathing. Pacific wind moved her loose hair. She wore white, light dress, bare feet, a glass in her right hand. Damon stopped at the doorway, chest heaving, sweat at his temples, suit wrinkled, shirt half open, shoes dusted with sand. "Ashley." She didn't turn immediately. When she spoke, her voice was calm, almost bored. "I thought you'd arrive sooner. What the hell are you doing?" He stepped forward. "Why did you run? Why aren't you answering your phone?" "Because I didn't want to talk to you. You don't just leave." His voice shook now, anger, desperation. "You're pregnant. You're carrying my child." Silence. She turned slowly. Her eyes met his. No fear, no guilt, nothing he recognized. "I was." He blinked. "What?" She didn't answer with words. Instead, she lifted the glass. Golden liquid shimmered in the moonlight. White wine, cold, condensation sliding down the crystal. She brought it to her lips, took a long sip, slow, deliberate. Eyes locked on his the entire time. Damon froze. His brain processed the image in fragments. Wine, calm, no hesitation. Pregnant women don't drink. The truth hit him like impact. He stepped back, nearly stumbled, had to grip the doorframe. "No." The word strangled out. "You didn't." She lowered the glass. "I did." His world collapsed in silence. 5 seconds, no sound, then he exploded. "How could you?" His shout ripped through the night, startled invisible birds from the trees. The ocean wind carried his fury away, but it did not cool it. Ashley did not move. "How could I?" Her voice was ice. "That's the question you're asking?" "It was my child." He stepped closer, eyes red, veins bulging in his neck. "My heir. You had no right." "Right?" She stood slowly, controlled. Set the glass down beside her, crystal touching wood with a soft sound. Delicate, out of place. "You want to talk about rights, Damon?" Something in her voice shifted. Steel, cold steel. "What are you talking about?" She walked toward him. 1 step, 2, 3. wind lifting her white dress, hair moving, but her eyes, still, deadly. Meridian Laboratory. The words came like bullets. Special batch. Identical placebos. His face drained. You thought I wouldn't find out? She closed the distance. You thought I was stupid enough to swallow fake pills and never question it? Ashley, stop. She stopped less than a meter away. For the first time, she invaded his space. Not with desire, not with love, with cold fury. Her finger rose, pointed at his face. You switched my medication. Almost touching his nose. You tracked my cycle like I was breeding stock. You planned every night, every touch. Every time you took me to bed knowing exactly what you were doing. He opened his mouth. No sound came out. You violated my body, Damon. Her voice did not tremble. Before anything I did, you violated my body. The ocean roared behind them, waves crashing against rock like dark applause. His voice broke. I did it because I love you. Love? She laughed once, dry, empty. That wasn't love. That was possession. You treated my body like property, like land you could plant without permission. I wanted to build a family. You wanted an heir, she cut in, not a partner, not a family. An heir, a continuation of your name, your legacy, your ego. He stepped back. For the first time, Damon Blackwell had no answer. He had never stepped back from her before, not once, not in months, not in fights, not in threats. But now, he moved back, one step, and his body gave in first. The wind hit the terrace, cold, sharp. The ocean roared below. Ashley, can I please? His voice was thin. She stared at him. Please what? She stepped forward. He stepped back again. Please understand. He swallowed. Please, forgive me. She let out a slow breath. Please pretend you didn't turn me into an incubator without my consent. Silence. I thought you would change your mind, he said. I thought when you saw the baby, you thought wrong. Her words cut clean. She stopped moving. Her chest rose, fell. Once, twice. When she spoke again, her voice was lower, calm, dangerous. I said no, Damon, she pointed at him. I looked you in the eyes. I said I did not want to be a mother. A pause. And you heard that no, and decided it didn't matter. His jaw trembled. You decided my will didn't count. Another step closer. You decided my body was yours to manage, to schedule, to use. Dean. No. Damon. Even now she refused to soften it. I loved you, he whispered. She shook her head slowly. No. You loved the idea of owning me. A beat. Controlling me. Molding me into what you wanted. She stepped closer, close enough for him to see the fury in her green eyes. But I was never yours, Damon. Never. And now, you finally understand that. The silence that followed was heavy. The ocean kept moving. The wind kept blowing. But between them, nothing. No spark, no tension, only ashes. Leave. Her voice didn't rise. He didn't move. We can talk about this. We can fix this. There is no we, she cut him off. No second chance. No negotiation. You crossed a line that does not uncross. She looked at the broken door he had forced open minutes earlier. If you are not out of this house in 30 seconds, a breath. I call the police, and I press charges. His eyes changed. For 1 second, the arrogant billionaire vanished. There was only a man. Ruined. Scared. Please, he said, don't let this end like this. She didn't blink. It already ended. He walked out. Not the way he came in. No shouting, no demands, just silence. Shoulders curved, steps heavy. A conqueror leaving as a defeated man. He crossed the living room he had invaded, past the shattered door, walked down the wooden steps toward the beach. The sand was cold under his expensive shoes. The moon lit the endless ocean. Waves crashed, indifferent. Damon walked 10 steps. then stopped. His knees gave out. He fell into the sand, hands sinking into white grains, head lowered. No scream, no tears, just weight, understanding. He lost, not the heir, not the legacy, not the plan he calculated for months. He lost her. The only woman who ever challenged him, the only one who never bowed, the only one he loved. In the twisted way, he knew how to love, and he destroyed it himself. Every switched pill, every tracked cycle, every calculated night. He thought he was building a future. He was digging a grave. On the terrace, Ashley watched him collapse. She saw the powerful man shrink into the sand. She felt nothing, no victory, no satisfaction, only emptiness. Then, one tear fell. Just one. She wiped it away before it reached her chin, turned around, closed the door, and locked it. 5 years passed, not gently, like scars forming. Year 1. Ashley sold the Malibu house 3 months later. No hesitation. She bought an apartment in San Francisco, smaller, higher, with a view of the bay. No memories. Her startup exploded. The security algorithm she built at Galatech became industry standard. Government contracts, international banks, private defense firms. Ashley Morgan became a name on magazine covers. She gave interviews. Perfect smile, empty eyes. No one noticed. Across the country, Damon read every article. He kept every clipping. In his Manhattan office, one drawer stayed locked. Inside it, photos of her, articles, a crystal wine glass she left behind in Malibu. He never touched another woman. Year 2. Morgan Security almost collapsed. A major contract cancelled. Investors fled. Ashley sold assets, liquidated shares, refused to sink. When the accounts were nearly empty, $40 million appeared. Anonymous. No conditions. She stared at the screen for a long time, then closed the laptop. No questions. She rebuilt. 6 months later, Morgan Security went public. The IPO dominated headlines. That night, she returned to her empty apartment, took off her heels, poured white wine, drank alone. The city glowing beyond the glass, it tasted like victory, and nothing else. In New York, Damon watched the IPO coverage on an 80-inch screen. The penthouse was dark. He hadn't turned on the lights in weeks. Her face filled the screen, radiant, untouchable. He turned off the TV, went to bed. The king-size bed was too large. Her side remained untouched. Perfect. Like a tomb. Year 3. Ashley moved to New York. The irony was obvious. The city she once fled became her empire's headquarters. Morgan Security occupied 3 floors in the financial district, 500 employees, contracts in 40 countries. She ran everything with surgical precision. Behind her back, they called her the Ice Queen. She knew. She didn't care. Ice protects. Damon knew she was in the city the same day she arrived. His information network was quiet, efficient. He knew where she lived, where she dined, who she met. He never approached her. Some nights, past midnight, he parked across from her building, looked at the light on the 30th floor, waited, then left. Year 4. Forbes put her on the cover, the most powerful woman in tech, navy blazer, arms crossed, unshakable expression. Her green eyes did not smile. Damon bought 10 copies. 9 went into the locked drawer. 1 stayed on his nightstand. Sometimes he stared at it before sleeping, wondering if she ever thought about him. Probably not. She built a world where he did not exist. He remained trapped in Malibu, in the cold sand. In the words she said, "You violated my body." The sentence echoed, day, night, even in sleep. His partners noticed the change. Damon Blackwell looked thinner, paler. Dark circles marked the face that once terrified competitors. He stopped attending galas, stopped hosting parties, stopped being seen. The billionaire became a ghost. Year 5. The mirror did not lie. One October morning, Damon stared at his reflection. grey at his temples, sharper cheekbones, eyes without that old predator shine. He wore black, always black, not mourning, penance. The suit was still expensive, but it hung differently. Across the city, Ashley stood in her closet, emerald silk dress, Italian cut, suggestive, controlled. Her hair, once always tied back, now fell in soft golden waves. Makeup flawless, red lips, sharp eyeliner, beauty as armor. She looked at herself. The woman in the mirror was unrecognizable. No trace of the girl in the red dress at Galatech. No trace of the lover in the Manhattan penthouse. No trace of the woman who discovered betrayal in a marble bathroom. Only the CEO, the Ice Queen, the survivor. She smiled at her reflection. It didn't reach her eyes. That same morning, an envelope arrived on both of their desks, cream paper, gold-embossed letters, the seal of the Metropolitan Foundation, annual charity auction. Your presence is requested. Ashley read it in her office. Her assistant waited. Confirm attendance, she said. She didn't look up. It was the most important tech event of the year. Not attending would signal weakness. Ashley Morgan did not show weakness. Across the city, Damon held the same invitation. The paper was thick, cream, gold-embossed letters. His hands trembled, just slightly. He had not attended a public event in 3 years. Not one. He declined everything. Galas, fundraisers, award nights. No exceptions. But this one, he knew. He always knew. She would be there. His heart accelerated. For the first time in 5 years, something other than regret moved inside his chest. Confirm, he told his assistant. The word left his mouth before he could stop it. Friday night, November, the charity auction. The Metropolitan Museum of Art glowed under floodlights. Luxury cars lined the entrance. Drivers opened doors. The elite of New York stepped out. Photographers shouted names. Flashes exploded. Ashley stepped out of a limousine. The gold dress caught the light. It reflected in every direction. Her blonde hair blended with the fabric, gold on gold. She did not smile. She did not wave. She walked the red carpet like a queen entering her own kingdom. Across the street, a black car waited. Inside, Damon watched. Black suit, no tie, top buttons open. He looked exactly like what he was, a man tired of pretending. He saw her disappear through the museum doors. His chest tightened. 5 years of silence, 5 years of distance, 5 years of regret eating him alive. Tonight, the silence would break. He stepped out of the car, crossed the street, and walked straight toward the past he destroyed. Inside the grand hall, the air shifted before he arrived. Ashley stood on stage, microphone in hand. 500 guests watched her. Billionaires, politicians, celebrities. She owned the room. The gold dress shimmered under the lights. Her voice was steady, precise. This AI platform can transform public education, she said. The opening bid is $500,000. Hands went up. 1 million. 2. 3. Numbers climbed. Ashley gave a professional smile. Then she felt it. A disturbance in the air, whispers near the entrance, ripples moving across the room. She looked toward the doors, and the world stopped. Damon Blackwell walked in, like a ghost stepping out of darkness. Black suit, white shirt, no tie. His hair was longer, grey at the temples, but his eyes, the same. Blue, intense, locked on her. The murmurs spread. Is that Blackwell? He never shows up anymore. What is he doing here? Ashley heard none of it. Her pulse slammed in her ears. Traitor, 5 years building armor, one look, and cracks formed. She tightened her grip on the microphone. Her knuckles turned white. 3.5 million, she said, controlled, barely. Any higher bids? Damon stopped in the center of the hall. The room went still. He raised his hand. 10 million. The number detonated in the silence. 500 heads turned. The auctioneer blinked. Sir, Did you say $10 million? Yes. Damon's deep voice cut through the air. For the project. A pause. And for the honor of receiving it from the presenter. He never looked away from her. Heat climbed up her neck. Anger. It had to be anger. Mr. Blackwell, she said. Her voice was ice. This is a charity auction, not a stage for theatrics. 10 million isn't theatrics, he replied calmly. It's support. A faint shadow of his old predator smile appeared. I can go higher. Phones lifted. Journalists typed fast. Headlines were writing themselves. Ashley wanted to destroy him, right there. But she would not sacrifice 5 years of reputation. 10 million, she repeated to the auctioneer. Sold. The gavel struck. Sharp. Final. Protocol was simple. The winner came to the stage, received the certificate, shook hands. Photos. Ashley stepped down the stairs, each step measured. Her heels echoed on marble. The room watched, hypnotized. She stopped 1 meter in front of him, close enough to smell him. Wood, spice, the same scent from 5 years ago. Congratulations on your acquisition, she said. Her voice was a blade. I hope the money serves the schools well. It's not about the project, he murmured. Only for her to hear. You know that. I don't know anything about you anymore, Blackwell. Ashley, Mrs. Morgan, she cut him off. For you, it's Mrs. Morgan. Pain flashed across his face, quick, unfiltered. The auctioneer handed her the certificate and ceremonial gavel. If you could present it officially. She took them, extended them toward Damon. Their fingers touched, barely a second, skin against skin, electric, sharp. Ashley felt it travel up her arm, down her spine, explode in her stomach. She pulled back too fast, too obvious. Damon noticed. His eyes darkened. I missed you, he whispered. Every day, every night. Every second of these 5 years. You don't have that right. Her voice trembled. Damn it. You lost that right. I know. He didn't look away. But missing you doesn't ask permission. Cameras flashed around them. The reclusive billionaire returns. The untouchable CEO presents the award. Tomorrow's front page. Neither smiled. Ashley stepped back first. Distance. Enjoy your trophy, Blackwell. She turned and walked toward the bar. She needed a drink. Air. Anything to erase the feeling of his fingers on her skin. It didn't fade. Damon watched her disappear into the crowd. The gold dress vanished between black suits and diamonds, but he saw it. The quick pull of her hand, the tremor in her voice. She felt it. After 5 years, she still felt it. Hope was dangerous. He knew that. He had lived without it long enough, but standing there, holding a $10 million gavel, he allowed hope to take root. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But a door, slightly open. At the bar, Ashley ordered whiskey. Neat. Her hand shook as she held the glass. Control yourself. You are Ashley Morgan. You do not shake. You do not feel. She drank it in one swallow. It burned her throat, did nothing to the memory of his touch. 5 years building walls. 1 second destroyed the surface. Another, she told the bartender. He poured without comment. She looked at herself in the mirror behind the bottles. Gold dress, perfect makeup, unbreakable woman. Lie. Under the armor, something she buried in Malibu was waking up, and that terrified her more than Damon ever could. His hand closed around her arm before she could leave. Wait. She froze. Not because he ordered, because the contact paralyzed her. Warmth through thin fabric, firm grip, not tight, not controlling. She looked at his hand, then at his face. Let go. He released her immediately. That confused her more than if he had held on. We need to talk, he said. Low, rough. Please. They both felt the weight of that word. Damon Blackwell did not say please, he commanded, he took. We have nothing to talk about. She turned and walked fast toward the backstage corridor, away from cameras, away from eyes, away from him. Her heels echoed against white marble walls. The hallway amplified every step. He followed. "Ashley!" She didn't stop. "Ashley, please!" The word almost made her stumble. "Please." She kept moving. The corridor ended at a private lounge for speakers. Velvet sofas, bright mirrors, and a door at the back, leading to the service exit. Ashley pushed the locked door. It didn't move. She turned fast, looking for another exit. Damon stood at the entrance, blocking the only way out. "Give me 5 minutes," he said. "That's all I'm asking. You don't have the right to ask for anything." "I know." No arrogance, no challenge, just acceptance. That disarmed her for half a second. She crossed her arms. Defense posture. The same one she used in impossible negotiations. "Move, Damon." He didn't step forward, didn't step back. He stayed there, wide shoulders filling the doorway. But his hands were behind his back, hidden, far from her, as if he was physically holding himself in place. She noticed. "What do you want?" Her voice was sharper than she intended. "Did you come to prove you can still corner me? To show you can still trap me whenever you decide?" "No." He shook his head slowly. "I came to apologize." She laughed, dry, bitter. "Apologize? 5 years later?" "I should have done it that night in Malibu," he said. He paused, searching for words. "I was incapable of seeing, incapable of understanding, incapable of accepting what I did." His scent filled the space between them. Wood, spice. Her body recognized it. She hated that. "And now you're capable." Sarcasm dripped from every syllable. 5 years of silence and suddenly you found clarity? "I didn't find light," he said quietly. "I found darkness. I lived in it. Every day. Every night." He took one step forward. She stepped back. He stopped immediately. His hands remained behind his back. "I won't touch you," he whispered. "Not without your permission. Never again." "How convenient," she shot back. "You learned about consent after violating me for months." The word hit him. Violated. He closed his eyes. His jaw tightened. When he opened them again, there was something raw there, pain, unfiltered. "I deserve that," he said, every word. "Every door slammed in my face. I know what I did, Ashley. I know the name it has. And I know there isn't enough forgiveness in the world to erase it. Then why are you here?" "Because I needed you to know." He swallowed. "That I understand. That I wake up every day with the weight of it. There wasn't a single night I didn't think about you, and how I destroyed the only good thing I ever had." Her throat tightened. "Damn it. That changes nothing. I know. You can't just appear, throw $10 million on a stage, trap me in a hallway, and think that fixes anything." "I don't think it fixes anything. I just needed to see you once. To say what I should have said 5 years ago. Even if you tell me to disappear. Even if you never want to look at me again." Silence. She studied him. Black suit, open collar, gray at his temples, deep shadows under his eyes. He looked thinner, broken, not the predator from Galatech, not the billionaire who thought he could buy the world, just a man carrying the weight of his own crime. 5 minutes, she said finally. "You asked for 5. Your time is up." "Ashley." "Move." He hesitated. 1 second. 2. Then he stepped aside, cleared the doorway. His hands never left behind his back. He didn't try to touch her, didn't try to stop her. She walked toward the exit. Past him, felt the heat of his body in the narrow space between them. The scent wrapped around her like a memory that refused to die. She reached the door. Stopped. She shouldn't look back. Looking back was weakness. She looked anyway. He was exactly where she left him. Still. Blue eyes on her. Not begging. Not demanding. Waiting. "You destroyed me," she said softly. "You destroyed who I was. Who I could have been with you. You ended everything." "I know. And now what? You want forgiveness?" No. He shook his head slowly. I want you to know I will never forgive myself. Even if one day you can, I won't. She held his gaze for 3 long seconds, then turned and left. The night air outside was cold, sharp, real. She breathed in, once, twice. Something had shifted. She didn't know what. She didn't want to know. But as she slid into the limousine, one uncomfortable truth settled in her chest. Damon Blackwell was not the same man, and that was more dangerous than the old version ever was. Weeks later, late night, Ashley sat in her office on the 30th floor. Manhattan glittered outside the windows. Documents covered her desk, quarterly audit, numbers kept her steady, contracts, balance sheets, reality. Until one old folder appeared, 3 years old, the worst period of her professional life, the company bleeding, government contracts cancelled, investors disappearing. She remembered sitting in this same office, watching everything collapse. Then the miracle happened. $40 million, anonymous, no demands, no equity, no board seat, nothing. Her CFO had walked in that day pale. There's a deposit, she had said, 40 million, anonymous. Ashley made them verify it. 3 times, 4, 5. The money was real, the source was invisible. She hired investigators, pressured the bank. Nothing. Whoever sent it erased the trail with surgical precision. Eventually, she stopped searching. She rebuilt. She went public. She became the CEO the world respected. But the question never died. Who? Now the answer was in her hands. An archiving mistake, a folder misplaced. Inside it, the original contract, all clauses, all terms, and a signature. Ashley read the name once, twice, 3 times. Damon Blackwell. The paper trembled. No, her hands trembled. She stood up too fast. The office spun slightly. Impossible. It had to be a mistake. Forgery. A trick. She picked up the document again. Studied the signature. She knew that handwriting. From contracts, from notes, from cards left on silk pillows years ago. It was him. Damon had saved her company 3 years ago, 2 years after Malibu. He knew she hated him, knew she never wanted to see him again. And still, $40 million, no credit, no leverage, no emotional debt collected. He never appeared saying, "You owe me." 3 years of silence, while she believed she rebuilt everything alone. Ashley walked to the window. The skyline shone below. Every night she looked at it and thought, I did this. Her stomach turned. Not anger, something worse. She went back to the desk, read the clauses again. No shares, no voting rights, no reporting obligations. Legally, it was a gift, $40 million, from the man she hated most. She sat down slowly. The edges of the paper crumpled in her grip. Why? She whispered. If he wanted her back, why not use it? Why not show up as the savior? Why not demand gratitude? That was what the old Damon would have done. The predator, the manipulator, the man who believed everything had a price. But he didn't. He disappeared and let her believe she saved herself. He stayed in the background, quiet, invisible, watching from a distance, protecting her without stepping into the light, without asking for credit, without asking for anything. Like someone who actually... Ashley shut her eyes. No, she would not finish that thought. Silence. It was 2 a.m. The city outside her office was asleep. She wasn't. She hadn't moved in almost an hour, still sitting, still holding the document, still staring at the signature that changed everything. 5 years of anger, carefully built, sharpened, necessary, now cracking, not gone, not forgiven, just fractured, because monsters don't do what he did. Monsters don't wire $40 million. Monsters don't save the woman who hates them. Monsters want control, recognition, power, leverage. He asked for none of it. No shares, no board seat, no repayment, no conditions. That was worse than manipulation, worse than blackmail, because she couldn't fight it. How do you hate someone who saved you in secret? How do you keep rage alive against a man who walked away and still protected you? She didn't know. For the first time in 5 years, Ashley didn't know. She opened her desk drawer. Emergency whiskey, crystal glass, 2 fingers. She drank. It burned, did nothing. The document was still there, the proof, the name, Damon Blackwell. She saw him again in her mind, at the charity auction weeks ago, thinner, grey at his temples, dark circles under his eyes, not a predator anymore, a shadow. She remembered what he said backstage. "I will never forgive myself." Back then it sounded rehearsed, strategic, another attempt to get close. Now, she wasn't sure. Her phone rang. Unknown number, 2 a.m. She answered without thinking. "Hello." Silence. Breathing. Then his voice. Low. Familiar. "You found out." Not a question. Her heart slammed against her ribs. "How do you know?" "The bank flagged access to the original transfer file." A pause. "I never wanted you to see it." "Why?" The word slipped out, raw, unfiltered. He exhaled slowly. It wasn't supposed to be a bargaining chip. It wasn't supposed to buy forgiveness. It was just something I could do. "You needed it. I had it. That's it. $40 million. That's it, Damon." Her voice shook. "You gave 40 million and disappeared. I wanted you to win." Silence. "Even if you hated me. Even if you never spoke to me again. I wanted you to have everything you deserved." She looked at the skyline, Manhattan glowing through the glass, the empire she believed she rebuilt alone. "I don't know what to do with this." Her voice was softer now. "I don't know who you are anymore. You don't have to do anything," he said quietly. "You don't have to forgive me. Just know it was real. What I felt. What I still feel." The line went dead. She kept the phone at her ear, listening to nothing, breathing. Then she moved. 30 minutes later she stood outside his penthouse, hand raised, heart racing. The door opened before she knocked. He was barefoot, grey sweatpants, black t-shirt, wrinkled, hair messy, eyes red. "You came." Not hope, shock. "We need to talk." Her voice was steady. She didn't feel steady. He stepped aside, gave her space. She walked in. The place felt different, not the furniture, the air, curtains closed, lights low, half-empty bottle on the table, glasses everywhere. Loneliness had weight. She stopped in the center of the living room, back to him. "Why?" Silence. "The money." She turned. "Why?" He stayed near the door, like he didn't trust himself to get closer. "I told you. You said you wanted me to win. That's not enough." She crossed her arms. "I humiliated you. I destroyed you publicly. I walked away. And you saved my company." "Yes." "Why?" He swallowed. "Because I love you." The words hit the room hard. She felt the floor shift. "No." She shook her head. "You wanted to own me. You tracked my cycle. You switched my pills. You treated my body like property. That's not love." He nodded. "It wasn't." His voice broke. "It was obsession. It was control. It was sickness." He stepped forward slowly, bare feet silent on marble. "My father never saw me as a son. I was an heir, a continuation. When he died, he left a letter. One demand. Produce an heir before 40. She didn't move. I grew up believing that was my purpose. To carry a name, to secure a legacy." He stopped a few feet from her. "Then you walked into my life. You were strong, independent. You didn't care about my money. You challenged me, and I destroyed it. You violated me." Her voice was cold now. "Yes, I did. I live with that every day." His knees gave out, no drama, no warning. He hit the marble floor, hard. She stepped back. "What are you doing?" "What I should have done 5 years ago." He looked up at her, eyes wet, red. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know that. I'm not asking for it. I just need you to know I changed. People don't change. I did. Because that night in Malibu, when you looked at me like I was a monster, for the first time and I saw it, tears fell freely now. She had never seen him cry, not once. I spent 5 years fixing what was broken in me. Therapy, rehab, isolation. Not to win you back, but so I wouldn't be that man again. He moved closer, on his knees, slow, until he was right in front of her. My father's legacy means nothing. You are the only thing that ever mattered. His hands rose slowly. Careful, rested lightly at her waist. He waited. She didn't pull away. He leaned forward, forehead against her stomach. You were never a vessel. You were never an heir. You were everything. His shoulders shook. A low, broken sound escaped him, years of control collapsing. He wrapped his arms around her waist, not possession, not dominance, desperation. Ashley stood frozen, the man who once controlled her, now trembling against her. His tears soaked through the fabric of her dress. Her hands hovered in the air, shaking, then slowly and carefully. They rested on his head. Not forgiveness, not yet, just acknowledgement. That maybe people can face what they were. Maybe they can change. They stayed like that, minutes, breathing. His quiet sobs, her heart pounding. Finally she spoke. Get up. He didn't move. Damon. Her voice firmer. Get up. He lifted his face, eyes swollen, cheeks wet, still holding on to the smallest thread of hope. Ashley swallowed. Slow. This doesn't mean I forgive you. Her voice was steady, not cold. It doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean I forgot. A breath. I know, Damon said. She held his eyes. It means I'm trying to understand. A pause. Who you are now. If this is real. If you're worth the risk. He nodded. Slow. Careful. If you disappoint me again. Her tone hardened. Once. I disappear. And this time, you'll never find me. His jaw tightened. You won't have to. I will never hurt you again. Never again. Silence stretched between them, heavy. She studied him, searching for the performance, the calculation, the predator waiting. Nothing. Just a man standing without armor, without power, without control. After a long moment, she extended her hand. He looked at it like it was sacred, like it might vanish. Slowly, he took it, warm, shaking. He stood fully, and for the first time in 5 years, they were eye level. No games, no leverage, no manipulation, just two damaged people, trying. Ashley let go first, one step back. Distance, necessary. If this happens, it happens my way. Anything, he said immediately. No hesitation. First, no secrets, ever again. If you hide anything from me, it's over. No secrets. Second, no decisions about my body, my career, my life. You don't get a vote. You get an opinion. I decide if I listen. Understood. Third, if I say no, it's no. Anytime. No debate, no pressure, no persuasion. He repeated it. No means no. Always. She watched his face, carefully, looking for cracks, for hunger, for control. Nothing, only restraint. Why should I believe you? You shouldn't. He didn't look away. I don't deserve your trust. But I'll spend the rest of my life earning it. That landed. 5 years of anger, brick by brick, ice around her heart. Now, the first fractures spreading. Okay. Barely a whisper. Let's try. He didn't move, almost afraid breathing too hard would scare her away. Are you sure? No. She gave a small, honest shake of her head. I'm tired of being sure. Tired of controlling everything. Tired of being ice. One step closer. I'm tired of pretending I don't feel anything. The air shifted, thicker, warmer. 5 years of tension filling the space. He inhaled slowly. What do you want? She looked at him. Really looked. The blue eyes. The tension in his jaw. The body she remembered too well. I want to remember. Before it broke. When it was just us. He approached carefully. One step, then another. Slow enough for her to stop him. She didn't. He stopped inches away, close enough to feel her breath. His hand lifted, paused halfway. Silent question. She didn't move. His fingers touched her cheek, gentle, not claiming, not gripping, soft, reverent. I dreamed about this, he whispered, every night. For 5 years. Her throat tightened. Me too. Even when I hated you. Even when I tried to forget. Did you? He asked quietly. No. That was enough. He leaned in, slow, giving her time. Always giving her time. Their lips met. Not fire, not hunger, not conquest. Familiar, deep, careful. A return. Her hands slid up to his chest, heart beat fast under her palm. He exhaled against her mouth. Low, controlled. Bedroom, she murmured. He nodded once. They moved together, pauses in the hallway, soft kisses against the wall, hands exploring slowly, learning again. Clothes fell piece by piece, no rush, no urgency. When they reached the bed, he stopped, looked at her. You're beautiful. His voice shook. She pulled him closer instead of answering. Skin to skin, warmth, electric, different. Before, he took. Now, he asked, with his eyes, with his pauses. Is this okay? Yes. And this? Yes. Every permission mattered, every hesitation intentional. She guided him, not passive, not controlled, present, equal. When they finally came together, it was slow, measured, breathing synced, foreheads touching. No power struggle, no dominance, just connection. He kept his eyes open, locked on hers. I love you. Broken. Honest. She didn't say it back, not yet. But her fingers laced with his, held tight. That said enough. The release came gradually, like a tide rising. Not violent, not consuming, just building, together. When it ended, they stayed close. Breathing uneven, sweat cooling on skin, silence, not heavy, peaceful. For the first time since Malibu, she whispered, I feel calm. He pulled her closer, careful. Was it okay? She looked at him. It wasn't okay. A small pause. It was perfect. Relief flooded his face. I was afraid I'd never have this again, he admitted. You almost didn't. I know. His hand traced her arm gently. I'll spend the rest of my life being grateful for this chance. She lifted her head, looked at him fully. Don't disappoint me. That's all I ask. He held her face, gentle. Never again. He kissed her slowly. No urgency, no fear. Outside, Manhattan kept shining, indifferent. Inside that room, something fragile had restarted. Months passed. 6. Rebuilding isn't cinematic. It's repetition, consistency, transparency. There were hard nights, Ashley waking up anxious, checking his phone, asking questions at 3 a.m. He never complained. He unlocked everything. Accounts, emails, contracts, total transparency. Trust wasn't given. It was earned daily. Then came the magazine cover. Forbes. Both of them side by side, power couple of tech, she in red, he in black, not smiling at the camera, looking at each other. The image went viral in 3 hours, but the real story wasn't the headline, it wasn't the valuation, it wasn't the empire. It was this, 2 people who burned everything down and chose to rebuild, slowly, carefully, together. Trust didn't return in a single moment. Not in one night, not with one apology. It came back slowly, brick by brick, Day after day, consistency, proof. And now, months later, they stood on the balcony together, whole, equal. Inside, the party was loud. Champagne, laughter, flashbulbs, the official launch of the merger, Blackwell Industries, Morgan Security. The biggest deal in the sector in over a decade. Two empires becoming one, not because he swallowed her company, not because she surrendered territory. A real partnership, balanced. The lawyers nearly lost their minds, drafting a contract where neither side had more power. In the end, they did it. 50% each, joint decisions, mutual veto power. The press called it impossible. They called it us. Ashley leaned against the glass railing, navy blue dress flowing down her body like water, hair loose. No armor, no ice. Damon stood behind her, arms wrapped around her waist, chin resting lightly on her shoulder. Manhattan glittered below them, the same skyline, different feeling. "What are you thinking?" he asked softly. She watched the lights. "How close we came to losing this." He tightened his arm slightly. "You didn't lose anything." "I almost destroyed everything." She turned her head, looked at him. "We both almost lost." A small pause. "But we didn't." He smiled, not the old predator smile. Calm, grounded. "No, we didn't." The balcony door slid open. A business reporter stepped out, polished smile, recorder in hand. "Sorry to interrupt. Just one last question." Ashley straightened. Damon didn't release her. "Of course," Ashley said. The reporter glanced at her notes. "You're the most talked about couple in tech right now. 2 fortunes, 2 empires, a beat. The question everyone is asking, when are the heirs coming?" The air shifted, cold for a second. Ashley felt Damon's body stiffen behind her, a ghost from the past. But before she could answer, he did. "We already have everything we need." His voice was steady, no hesitation, no shadow. He looked directly at Ashley when he said it. Message clear: you are enough. Always were. The reporter blinked, clearly expecting something else. "So, no plans in that direction?" Ashley stepped forward slightly. "The future is this." She gestured between them. "Our company. Our life. We don't need anything else to be complete." The reporter scribbled quickly, professional smile slipping for half a second. "Thank you for your time." She disappeared back inside. The door closed, silence returned, muted music behind glass. Ashley turned in Damon's arms, now face to face, city lights behind him. "You didn't have to answer for me," she said quietly. "I know." He held her face gently. "But I wanted to." "Because it's true." He exhaled slowly. "I spent years thinking I needed an heir to matter. To leave something behind." "And now?" she asked. "Now I know legacy isn't blood. It's what we build. Together." His thumbs brushed her cheeks. "Not a name. Not a lineage. Us." Her chest tightened. Not pain. Something warmer. Something she almost forgot how to feel. Happiness. "You really changed," she whispered. He shook his head gently. "You gave me a reason." "No." She touched his chest. "You changed. I just gave you the reason to try." He smiled. "Then thank you for being my reason." The kiss came naturally. Not fire, not desperation. Deep, calm, certain. The kiss of someone who is home. Her arms wrapped around his neck. His hands held her firmly, not possessive, present, balanced, when they pulled back, foreheads resting together, breathing shared. "I love you," he said. She looked into his eyes. "I know." A small smile. "And I love you too." First time she said it, in months of rebuilding. First time out loud. His eyes closed. Relief washed over his face. "Say it again." She smiled softly. "I love you, Damon Blackwell. Despite everything. Because of everything. I love you." He pulled her into his chest. held her like she was priceless, because she was. They stayed there on the balcony, two bodies against the Manhattan skyline. Inside, guests celebrated the merger of two corporations. Out here, something bigger had already merged. Two people who almost destroyed each other, who survived fire, ice, 5 years of silence, and chose each other anyway. Not a fairy tale. Better, real, imperfect, built on mistakes, built on forgiveness, built on the daily decision to stay. Ashley looked at the city again. "The future?" she asked softly. He kissed her forehead. "Whatever you want. Everything. As long as it's together." She smiled, and this time it reached her eyes. "Together," she repeated. "I like the sound of that." The night wind moved gently around them. Inside, the world kept spinning. Deals, champagne, power. But on that balcony, two former enemies, two broken lovers, found peace. They didn't need heirs for legacy. They didn't need blood for family. They had each other, and that was enough. If this story moved you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. He once tried to hold her by control. He only won her back when he let go, and she didn't need motherhood to have a legacy, because their empire wasn't built on blood, it was built on truth.